Absolutely. Well, there's a few things that happened during the pandemic. I think that most people already had mental, like if they were already like in that direction, they were already dealing with something. But then when the whole world gets locked down, it was very fear-based and isolating and confusing.
Welcome to OTR, Over the Rainbow, Achieving Mental Health for Real. This podcast offers hope to many people who needlessly suffer from mental health issues. Your host, Bob Adelman, interviews experts like doctors, counselors, and life artists who give helpful tips on living a happier life. But most importantly, Bob interviews ordinary people who have suffered with a mental health issue. Each one has recovered to lead a much happier life. You can do it too. Bob's notes on today's show followed.
My guest today is Dashama Morgan. She is an award-winning, internationally known author, joyologist, yoga teacher, and creator of best-selling online courses, the Global 30-Day Yoga Challenge, multiple books, and 33 yoga DVDs. She founded the Flow State Institute, FSI, in response to the growing demand for her unique system of yoga and healing. Her online courses have transformed over 1 million people with the healing power of flow state yoga and meditation. Dashama was inducted into the Happiness Hall of Fame at Stanford in 2019 and was a keynote speaker at the United Nations for International Day of Happiness in 2016. Dashama shares her message loud and clear. You can heal your life and create the life of your dreams.
Now, here's Bob with today's show.
Hello, Dashama. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Great. How are you? Nice to be here.
Normally, my first question is about your childhood.
Yes.
How was your childhood?
I had a really hard childhood, to be honest. I actually, when I was 7, my mother, she became schizophrenic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was really super sweet. Like, she was a loving person, but then she was taking drugs. She was taking cocaine and alcohol, and I think peyote all combined. And so after that experience, I have 3 other sisters, so 4 of us girls got split up and put into foster homes. So I had like a really traumatic early childhood.
What age were you when you were put in foster homes?
7.
Oh, that's young, yeah. Was it, did you stay in the same area or you had to move?
I moved a lot. So we moved like every few months. We were in a different school, a different home for about 5 years.
Okay.
And then when I was 12, my aunt, which was my mother's adopted sister, took 2 of us to live with her in South Dakota. So it was like a different type of foster home because I knew who she was. And she had 4 other children that she was kind of, she always dreamed of having an orphanage, and she kind of got one.
Wow. So she had a lot of kids. So you had a lot of kids growing up. Did that make it better?
It was just different. Like one of like my cousin, Abby, who was adopted, she had ADHD. So it was very difficult because she had this compulsive, hyperactive attention deficit disorder.
Okay.
And she had a lot of behavioral problems because of that. So that was difficult.
Yeah, I know how bad that can be. When I was growing up, I had very bad ADHD, and I still have it pretty seriously. So at what age did you leave home, and what did you start doing?
Well, when I was 12, I went to live in South Dakota with kind of that orphanage that my aunt created. And then I was there until I graduated high school, and then I left and I went to college from there. Right when I got out of college, I actually had a job. It was a corporate job. I was a travel nurse recruiter. So I worked at this nurse travel agency, and we would get nurses jobs at hospitals, and they could travel around the country. So that was fun. I was really good at the job, but I was very bored with it, and I was very dispassionate because it made me so bored. And I was good at it because I was like not challenged at all, and I had to show up and and nothing was challenging, and it wasn't fulfilling me. I was working that job at the time, and then my business on the side. I was really searching for what could bring me joy, because at the time, I had tried all the things that worked in the past. Like I tried to focus on things to be grateful for. It didn't help. I wasn't even able to feel anything. I felt really numb. So even when I would think of things that I was grateful for, I didn't feel the energy of the gratitude for that. And so it didn't help at the time. So it took me like a year of deep depression and soul searching, and at the experience where finally I asked myself, what would I do that could make me feel joy or happiness regardless of the money? Like even if I didn't get paid for this, what could I do with my life, my energy, my time that would bring me joy? And I really thought about it, and I thought about what I enjoy. And one of the things that I love is helping people. I always loved kind of being a coach and a teacher in different ways. People had always come to me, even when I was in high school and as a young person, when they wanted to get in shape or, they needed to quit smoking. Like everyone came to me. So I learned early that I enjoy that and I'm good at that. And I'm like a motivator, and I feel inspired by being able to make people's lives feel better. And I really like movement because I was always an athlete. And so I wanted to do something that would allow me to move my body and to be outside and to interact with people and help their lives. So that was what came to me, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. But I said, okay, well, that's what maybe would be nice. And then one day I was searching on Google, and I Googled inner peace, and a yoga teacher training came up on Google, and it was called Yoga and Inner Peace. And I decided to do this yoga teacher training, and it was a immersive experience for 10 weeks. So yoga was something that I had always felt really good doing, and I felt good practicing. I would share it with my friends, and I loved doing it. And I felt like I just didn't think it was something you could make a sustainable living doing. So that's why I never thought of it as a career. But I was like, well, I love it, but I'm not going to make any money with it. So I'm going to find, a good business or a job that I can make money. And I was depressed for about a year. And I had this boyfriend at the time, and we had bought like a home together, and we had this dream of the future together. And I was working myself to death until I became totally exhausted, totally burned out, and then completely depressed. And came to a point where I was like, I have to change my life. And I just quit the job, even though I didn't have much money, but I just had a few $1,000s saved in the bank, and I had nothing else to my name. And I quit the job. I broke up with the boyfriend. I decided I was going to go to the yoga teacher training and figure it out from there. And I just took a leap of faith.
So when did you move more into, becoming entrepreneur type?
So I went to do this yoga teacher training, and it was a immersive experience for 10 weeks. And it changed my life so dramatically that within the first few weeks, my depression was completely gone. And my perspective on life, I started to be happy again. Like I found so much healing in the practice, not just of the yoga poses, but mantras. We were chanting, we were doing silent meditation in the mornings. We were doing selfless service through our karma yoga, which is like cleaning the bathroom for free, and, just doing wonderful things. And it changed my life so dramatically. So I started to tell everyone, oh my God. And I started teaching yoga to my friends and to people that I met, just because it made me feel so good to share this gift. And then I was so passionate about yoga after I graduated from the teacher training. It had healed me so much. Like it healed my depression, it healed my heartbreak from breaking up with the boyfriend, and even like a lot of traumas that I had from my childhood. So I was like, there's something magical to this. And I had a college degree in business and communication. So I was like, well, I think I can figure out how to make a career out of anything, because I know how to do business. So I applied my business knowledge to my to teaching yoga, and I made it into a business. So the first year I did really well, actually. I was teaching at like hospitals and private schools. I had all these private clients and country clubs. And I just started teaching all over the place, and I did really, really well. The first year, I think I made like $80,000 as a yoga teacher.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I felt really like, wow, I can actually do this.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 24, yeah, when I started.
Okay. I mean, that's terrific. You have a specific class that they can sign up for?
Yeah, if people would like to explore the options of going down this journey, we have a very transformational, immersive healing training. And depends. If people want to become a teacher, we have a certification for people that are interested in not only learning this for their own benefit, but for making a career and helping others. That was something that I think was really helpful and very healing for me, was to not only heal myself, but then healing other people is actually very healing for yourself. So it perpetuates this beautiful, continuous cycle of healing when you're a teacher. So that's why I started my school 12 years ago and started certifying teachers, because I realized, to become a teacher, you're going to make far more impact. We do have courses and classes and videos and DVDs and books for people who just want to get started as a beginner. And the best way for people to connect is to probably go to my website. I have a few different websites. One, our yoga programs are all on the website at flowstate.yoga. That's the Flow State Institute website. And then you can just contact us. You can apply to come to the training there, and then people will be able to set a time to talk with me, and we can talk about their dreams and their goals and getting started with this.
Okay, if you want to take one of the courses, go out to the website. It's one of the things we can do to help our mental health, which we know across America and the world is in crisis, especially with our teenagers and young adults. Suicide rates have been going up alarmingly, and I think what contributed to this crisis, of course, was the COVID pandemic. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Well, there's a few things that happened during the pandemic. I think that most people already had mental, like if they were already like in that direction, they were already dealing with something. But then when the whole world gets locked down, it was very fear-based and isolating and confusing, because nobody knew what was going on. All you knew is don't touch anyone or get around anyone because you could die. And then you had total like lockdown, so there was no control over your life. So many people had those conditions, which is almost like being put in prison.
Yeah, it is.
It's like really traumatic.
Being home all day. So I can imagine. And the teachers, from what I read, the teachers were also bailing out. They were getting burned out.
Yeah, exactly. There's a huge crisis. Actually, the U.S. Surgeon General declared the children's mental health a national emergency level crisis just 2 years ago. And that was during COVID. And it's not better now. It's like, that's why I'm so passionate with Bright Future Foundation. I have a foundation, and we started to help heal the children and the teachers and the school systems. It's called Children of the Future. Our website is childfuture.org. But we're launching a new, really exciting initiative that people can get involved in if they want to be involved and to help. And it's at brightfuture.org. Brightfuture.org is going to launch in just a few days. I'm excited. It's a whole initiative with like this meditation ritual gifting situation. So basically, the key to healing and to really shifting the energy is there's a couple of things. One of them is breathing. Honestly, it's so simple, but a lot of times when our emotions are deregulated, what we really just need is deep, slow, continuous breathing. And so that's what meditation, one form of meditation is just breathing. And so we have these bracelets, and you just count one bead per breath, and that just keeps you in the present moment. And there's like 24 beads on the bracelet, and it just keeps you focused while you're breathing. And you should do that like maybe twice a day or whenever you feel stressed, and then we also have an option where you can add some essential oil to the bracelet and breathe that in, because that also will regulate your nervous system, And there's different techniques. I think another thing that's super important is your gut health, which is something I talk a lot about. Not very many people want to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't have a gut health. My gut is too big.
Gut health. I just saw a study. It said 73% of all Americans suffer from gut health issues. I think that's a low number. I think it's like 100%. I mean, maybe 90%.
Yeah, you can count me in on that. I definitely have that problem.
Everybody has it, and I'm telling you, I have researched this extensively. Now I'm working with a really, really good doctor, by the way. Anybody who has gut health issues, I can connect you to Dr. Jonathan Birch. He does telemedicine, so you could get a session with him.
Okay. I think there was a video, right, on him on your website?
Well, I have different ones. I have lots of videos with doctors. I mean, I have studied and met and been friends with doctors from Harvard and Stanford and the whole world, to find the solutions for healing. But this Dr. Birch, I haven't spoken about him yet because I'm going to do something with him soon. But he's based in Santa Barbara, and they have a really powerful healing health clinic that's specifically holistic health for gut healing, and it's really cutting edge. And so anyway, anybody who's looking for gut healing, I can give you more information about that as well. Feel free to reach out.
So you would have places locally, or they would have to travel?
No, you can do that. You can do that from home. He'll just tell you what you need to do. Like he's a doctor, so he's going to talk to the patient, and then he's going to give you the consultation and help you figure out what's your problem. The first step in the gut healing is you have to get a test. So you do this test, and they analyze your stool, right? And then they actually tell you exactly what's in there. And you know what's crazy? Most people never do that.
I don't want to do it.
Most people will never do that. But you know what's in there?
Nothing good, probably.
Pathogens. They call it pathogens. Pathogens can be anything from fungus, bacteria, parasites, lots of stuff, candida. So these are all different types of pathogens. When they analyze your stool, they're going to tell you what pathogens are living inside of you.
Yeah.
And you have to be diligent to get them balanced out. And they have protocols and they have solutions for that. And I feel it's so interesting because it's a topic that no one wants to talk about because it's kind of embarrassing or it's private. You don't want to talk about it. But honestly, everybody does this. Everybody has this going on. 90% of people have this problem, and they're all I don't want to talk about it. And they just take Tums and they just take a laxative, and they think that's going to solve it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do suffer from stomach problems, and just yesterday I had a issue because I'm switching over from eating a lot of sweets to eating fruits a little bit. And I just went overboard on the fruits, and there goes my stomach. It doesn't take much for my stomach to go out. I have a lot of anxiety because I have anxiety issues, and anxiety makes acid in my stomach. It's very simple, but it's very hard to control and take care of.
Yeah. So when you know that, that's one thing I want to mention. I always felt that if you're sensitive in your stomach, the interesting thing about it is what I learned is that we always think, okay, so I'm having a symptom and let me fix the symptom. And so let's say you take Tums, but you're not fixing the problem. You're just fixing a symptom and you're not solving anything. And some people go their whole life doing that.
The same could be said for mental health.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Those are hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Your gut health and your mental health and the health of your life, it's all related. Even the financial health can be in this same ballpark because it's literally all related.
Yeah,
so once you start diving into the roots of all the stuff, you realize, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and then it's a matter of getting motivated, right?
Well, I think what's motivating is to suffer. If you're suffering, it's motivating to get out of your suffering. So then you say, okay, I'm going to do what I got to do.
I am suffering.
Yeah, doing yoga, meditation, breath work, cleansing, healing your gut, biohacking. What I teach is not just yoga. It's a whole system of healing, and it's called the Flow State Institute, but we include yoga because it's the foundation of that is so important, because most of our health concerns are coming from both the combination of our nervous system, our hormones, our mind, and our gut. And those four things, you need to address them, and if you don't address them, you're going to continuously have lots of symptoms or emotional deregulation where you're just suffering all the time and not know why and feel like life sucks. But instead, take your power back. You're like, okay, I could sit here and another 10 years, maybe the rest of my life suffer, or I can say, I'm not going to suffer. I'm going to find the solution. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to get myself on track, and I'm going to heal myself, and then I'm going to help other people. And now I have a purpose of life, and then you get on fire with that passion.
And one of the hardest things is to get outside of yourself. When you're suffering with depression, all you're thinking about is yourself.
Exactly.
And the best thing to do is what you're saying, help others, and that will help you out of your problem.
Yeah.
So many people fall into that trap where it's just me, and oh, poor me, and then they don't do anything for anybody else. And so people lose that ability to help others, which is healing, I think.
Yeah, that's so true. Exactly. The number one thing that will heal depression is to serve other people. Go to a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter and give your time to somebody less fortunate. And all of a sudden you look at your life and you say, wow, actually, I got it pretty good.
Yeah, it's not so bad, right? Okay, so they can go on your website. I see you have Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. So you do have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel. People can go check out. I have hundreds of videos. My name is Dashama, Dashama, so they can go to the YouTube. Just put my name in there. I have a whole channel, hundreds of videos. Also have an app, and the app is the flowstate.app. That's the website. And so we have lots of videos in the app as well.
So if somebody wanted to get into this program quickly, what would they have to do?
For which program?
For the yoga training?
Oh, for the yoga training? Yeah. So basically, there's a few ways. You would go to the website, flowstate.yoga, is the web, www.flowstate.yoga, and you can just go to the page, click the apply. You can just apply, submit an application. It's free to apply. You can also see some testimonials from our success stories of our graduates. I mean, I've had people come to these programs and heal like the grief of losing their mother, or, like really big traumatic and difficult things that we have to process. And if you don't have the proper support to help you to heal these things, then you're going to keep going through the same suffering. So this is what I'm passionate about, because I suffered so much myself, and I really want to help people to get out of that, but especially to become trained as a teacher so that you can not only heal yourself, but now you can be of service and you can pay it forward. And that perpetuates a lot of happiness and fulfillment. Whenever you apply, we set a call and we talk about your situation and how it can be, reach your dreams is really the goal. Like, I want to help people to not only heal, but to thrive and to really live a life of passion and purpose and fulfillment. And the nice thing about the yoga path is that not only will you heal yourself, but it actually helps you to grow younger. Like, people always are surprised when I tell them I'm in my 40s, because they're like, no way. Like, I haven't really aged in over 10 years, I feel. And a part of it is this lifestyle, because when you really focus on healing yourself and your own happiness, your health and well-being, then it shows, and not only in your energy, in your emotions, and in your physical health starts to improve dramatically as well. One step in front of the other, and you're going to see your whole life is going to shift, because you also want to start to think in a different way and see yourself in a new way and see that life is working out for you and you have angels around you. And when you start to just affirm that life is happening for you and it's all going to be better than you could have hoped, that you start to see a lot of shifts take place.
You have a lot to offer. I can't even dissect this all at once, but I'll go back and look at it. I urge people to look at it. I will put links in the description. Do you have any other things you want to tell our audience before we go?
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to share, if anybody's really struggling, whether it's depression, PTSD, anxiety, I mean, these things, I've been through it all. And one thing that I've learned from a lifetime of both suffering and then healing myself and also healing other people, helping them through it, is that the best thing you can do is ask for help and really be around people that can help and be committed to showing up for yourself and being like, even if it's hard right now, I'm going to keep breathing. I'm going to do what I need to do. And every day keep showing up, make those disciplined daily actions. And that's how you see your life transform. It's profound how you could be a completely different person in like 6 months from now if you commit to doing what it takes to get to that next level. And when you see yourself in the mind's eye and your vision of what your best life would be, what does that look like? And then how does it compare to what it is now? And then make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, and you were a terrific guest, and good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on here.